Dear friends, welcome back. In this video, I'd like to continue Bandit series on the Over-the-Wire platform. The level I'm going to do will be level 21. Here is the description for this level. There is a set UID binary in the home directory that does the following. It makes a collection to localhost on the port number you specify as command line arguments. So I think, as I understand, this binary will be a client, and this client should connect to the port number. So I think there is some sort of server running on this port number, and we can use Netcat to run a server, okay? And then it reads a line of text from the collection and compares it to the password in the previous level. If the password is correct, it will transmit the password for the next level. So I think we are going to use Netcat and to retrieve the password for the next level. However, besides this classical way, I also demonstrate how to use Python for the same purpose to solve the same challenge. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. You're greatly appreciated. So enough talk, let's just get started. We can head over to Linux VM. First of all, we need to connect to the target so we can run SSH. I'd like to autocomplete this command. As before, I explicitly specified the port number with the option of -p because in this case, the port number is not default one by SSH service. So now we can press enter. And it's asking us to supply the password of the current user Bandit 20. No problem. I think I've already made a copy to the clipboard so I can paste password from clipboard and then hit enter. Sorry, I think I made it wrong. We can copy the password again from notebook and paste in here. Alright, we are in the target machine. We can press keys Ctrl Shift and L to clear the screen. Then we can get bigger space on the screen. Also, you can run a command clear, okay? But I think shortcuts would be more productive for us. So next command I'd like to run would be ls. ls can list directory contents. And for me, I always use the options, three options together, A, L, H. A means all. So the hidden directories and files will be listed out as well. L means long list. H means human readable. So the file size will be displayed as human readable format. Okay, so now we can press enter. Okay, so I think we can almost immediately notice this file, which has, the red background, and we can check its permissions or privileges. The first character specifies the type to see whether this is a file or directory. D means directory, hyphen here means simple file. And the first three characters followed by the hyphen will be showing the privileges for the owner of this file. And the owner is, this case is Bandit 21. And this user, the owner, has read, write, and also S set UID bit. So I think here this bit means whenever the user run or execute this file will get temporarily the privilege of the owner. The owner is Bandit 21. Okay, and this second group of 3 characters shows the privilege for the group. Group is Bandit 2020, and the last 3 characters shows privileges for anybody else. But of course, in this case, anybody else doesn't have any permission or privilege. Okay, so next we can run command of file to show its file type, and we can get to know this is the 32-bit Linux LSB executable. If we run this binary, and because in most cases the SU connect will be not in the path variable environment variable, so to run this binary we need to use dot, which stands for current directory, and slash, and followed by the file name or binary name, and we can press enter and we can get its usage. We must specify the port number because this binary, just I explained before, will be client, and this client, of course, to connect to a specific server, we need to specify the IP address and also the port number, because here connected to the local host, so we just what we need to specify is the port number only. Okay, and also below this usage we can get more detailed information about this program. So this program will connect to the given port number, and we can use any port number on localhost using TCP. If it receives the correct password from the other side, it means from the server or listener, okay? And the next password is transmitted back to the listener, okay? So how to retrieve the password? We need to give the password to this binary. And how to do? We can utilize the pipe operator, paste in here, and we can use a pipe or vertical bar, and so the output of the previous command would be the input for the next command, and we need to set up the server or listener on the local host, and we can use the option of NLVP. V means verbals, L means the listener, because Netcat can be server or can be either server or a client. In this case, we want it to be a server, okay? And so now next we can specify the port number, and here so the port number, this binary will be connected to this port number. However, if you hit enter, and I can see by default all Linux command would be running as foreground. So here, as you can see, we cannot run any additional command, for example, this binary. So how to do? There will be 2 approaches. The first, or the more preferable approach, is to use end symbol, and then when we hit enter, this command or this line of command will be running as a background, and then we can run any other command. And another second approach is we can set up, or we can open up another tab, and then we can SSH to the target again. But this is not the best way. We can press enter. As you can see, now we can run any other command. For example, this time we can run SU connect followed by the port number 555. And as you can see, we can successfully retrieve the password for the next level. Okay, so far I've already demonstrated how to use Linux command, how to use the pipe operator and how to set up the listener or server by Netcat. Next, I'm going to show you how to use a Python for the same purpose. Okay, so now we can go to the PyCharm, one sort of editor. You can use any other editor if you want. And first, we need to import something. We need to import a module socket. So socket can, can make a connection between the client and the server, and this socket can uh, can can help us set up the listener or server, but also can be running as a client. In this case, we want to set up the listener or server. Okay, and next, I'd like to set variable current password because we need to send the listener when the listener get the collection from the SU connect binary. It needs to send back this password to the show connect. I mean this binary. Okay, so I think we can paste over here. Next, we need to initialize the socket instance or object server socket, and we can use the socket function, and we need to pass two arguments. The first one, we need to specify the family address family. In this case, we need to use the IPv4 rather than IPv6. And the second argument would be TCP or transport layer socket sock stream. And next, we need to bind the IP address of the server to the port number. So server, we can use this socket has a method called bind, and we need to pass a tuple. So we need to use double parentheses, and the first element would be the IP address. We can use the localhost IP address, but also we can use 4 zeros. And next, we need to specify the port number. Okay. Next, we can use its method listen. And so listen means this socket or this server will wait for collection from the client. And normally we can set the maximum threads or maximum workers of this server socket. For example, 5 or 3, but this case, this doesn't matter. Okay. And next, we need to accept the collection, actually accept the collection from the client or any client. Accept, and this method, accept method, will return a tuple, and the first element of this tuple would be client socket. So we can use this new socket to send and receive data from the client. And the second element of this tuple would be address of the client. But in this case, this address is not useful. Okay. So next, we can send the password of a current user to the SU Connect. So how to send? It's very simple. We can use the client socket. Client socket has a method called send. And because we are using Python 3, so the data should be encoded first before sending. And we can current password encode. We can use encode method, so the string can be converted to bytes. Okay. Next, we can receive data from the client or from the SU connect binary. Okay, so how to do? We can use another method of client socket receive, and we can specify the buffer, for example, like 1024, and this method will return a bytes data. So we can data equal to this one, and then we can print out this data, but we need to decode first, okay? And the next, I think we can close the client socket. We can use close method, and also we can close the server socket, but they are not necessary. But I think this is good practice when we use a socket. Whenever we do not use sockets, we need to close it to save resource. Okay, so we can copy. Maybe no. First, we need to connect to the target again, and we can create temp directory under the temp directory. So we can use command mk, which means make a temp, and with option of D, which stands for directory. And now we can generate the Python scripts under this directory where we have full permissions. So we can use the Vim editor, and we can copy and the file name like test, and we can copy the entire code from the my PyCharm and paste in here. All right, right and quit. If the code doesn't have any error, we should get back the password for the next level, and we can run Python 3, and we can copy the absolute path. As before, we need to use the and symbol, so this will be running as background process. And the next we can run connect, and the port number is 555. We can press enter. As you can see, we can successfully retrieve the password for the next level. So I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.